Ryosuke Sasaki, 29 years old, works as a salaryman at a small specialized trading firm. The glory days he once knew feel like a distant memory now. Hard to believe he used to earn a high salary and live lavishly. With the company's performance tanking, his pay has dropped. And these days he lives a modest life in a cramped apartment. Morning, eating a cheap pastry. He notices a stain on the ceiling more than usual, wondering when life became like this.
Never imagined I'd end up living like this back then.
In the office one morning, an event shook their everyday routine to its core. "I have an announcement for everyone," said the company president, gathering all employees. He revealed that their company would be sold via M&A to an up-and-coming rival in the same industry. Shocked by the sudden news, the employees were paralyzed by anxiety. They kept silent, no one daring to speak.
"Mr. Ryosuke, at 2 p.m., you'll meet the new president of the acquiring firm. Please head to their offices."
Rumors of layoffs swirled post-M&A, and everyone feared for their future. No one even recognized the new president's name.
So it's finally happening?
Casting his eyes down at his desk, Ryosuke felt powerless, yet forced himself to face forward. While sensing the team's unease, he realized his own position might be on the line too.
"They say this new president has a ruthless reputation. Maybe we'll all get canned?"
Means they figure the company can run without us, huh?
Ryosuke headed toward the building where the new management was located. The meeting room of the new leadership felt sleek and sterile, a far cry from the familiar old office he was used to.
Pleased to meet you.
In the center of the room stood the new president, back turned to him. Sayaka Shirai. He didn't recognize the name, but the moment Ryosuke saw her, he froze.
"Hello, I'm Sayaka Shirai."
In front of him stood his old junior high classmate, Saya Matsui. Yet instead she now appeared as a cold, resolute president.
Saya?
Yes, I once went by Matsui Saya, but that's no longer relevant.
No way. It's really you.
Her voice was icy. The girl he used to joke with, who laughed so brightly in junior high, was nowhere to be found.
I don't let personal feelings interfere with business. That's my rule.
After the meeting, Ryosuke left the conference room filled with complicated emotions.
Sayaka Shirai? How did she end up like this?
Back in junior high, she was always smiling, lighting up everyone around her with her cheer. If you joked, she always laughed. Now that warmth was gone.
"Ryosuke, what was the new president like?"
She's cold, extremely.
Bewildered by how she'd changed, Ryosuke found himself wanting to know why. The next day, he tried asking coworkers for clues about her sudden coldness.
"Heard the new president came from a really rough family situation.
What do you mean?
Divorced parents, apparently. She got pulled back and forth, then buried herself in work. Like she devoted her entire life to the company. No wonder she's so businesslike. It's all she's got."
Learning that her icy demeanor might stem from her family troubles, Ryosuke realized that could be why she'd lost her smile. Later that day, Ryosuke happened to see Sayaka alone in the hallway and called out on impulse.
Pardon me, President Shirai.
Yes, Mr. Sasaki.
Her frosty gaze made him pause, but Ryosuke forced himself to speak.
I remember you in junior high. You used to be so cheerful cracking jokes. What happened?
It's a bit late to ask that now. What do you hope to gain by it?
I just want to see you smile again. Because the current President Shirai doesn't smile at all.
She looked shaken for a moment, but then her expression snapped back into place.
I've already forgotten whatever smile I had back then. Anything else you need?
No, that's all. Excuse me.
With that, he left. Her words, "I've forgotten my smile," wouldn't leave his mind. Deciding to take action, he muttered. He couldn't shake that line from his head. Ryosuke resolved to act.
Guess I'll start small.
He quietly placed a can of coffee on her desk.
What is this?
President Shirai, you've been busy lately. Just a small gesture.
She glanced at the coffee without a word, picking it up. A trace of surprise flickered in her eyes.
There's no need for such concern. Even if you do this, I won't change.
Nevertheless, I'd like to help however I can.
Though her reply was frosty, he could tell she wasn't fully rejecting him. Spurred by this small exchange, Sayaka's attitude began to shift.
Have you noticed President Shirai's vibe lately?
She seems softer somehow.
I know, right? Feels easier to talk to her than before.
Her once icy image gradually changed. Relieved, Ryosuke felt his chest lighten. One night, he spotted Sayaka still working overtime. A lone light in the conference room accented her isolation.
President Shirai, you're still here.
Mr. Sasaki, can I help you?
No, just noticed you working so late. Thought I'd check on you.
She looked momentarily surprised, then turned her gaze back to her papers.
I'm fine, it's just my job.
Maybe so, but you also need rest.
At his words, her hand paused. He could see the fatigue in her face. For the first time, Sayaka admitted a bit of vulnerability, and it tugged at Ryosuke's heart. Ryosuke proposed a small birthday party for one of the employees. Though Sayaka seemed indifferent at first, she gradually got drawn into the festivities.
President Shirai, we'd love for you to join us.
All right, just for a bit.
Once she took a seat, the tension eased. Ryosuke could see her starting to bridge the gap between herself and everyone else.
President Shirai, do you remember in junior high how the class baked a birthday cake together?
Yes, it collapsed, and we had quite the disaster.
A small laugh escaped her, astonishing everyone there. It was likely the first time most employees saw her smile. Later, due to complications from the merger, a vital company project faced a standstill. The employees panicked, and as leader, Sayaka felt enormous pressure. The staff was in disarray, and so was Sayaka behind her calm exterior.
President Shirai, the client's reconsidering the contract terms.
Understood. I'll address it right away.
She might have seemed composed, but Ryosuke sensed her anxiety.
President Shirai, let me help. Let's tackle this together.
Mr. Sasaki, this isn't a trivial matter.
I know, but now's exactly when the whole team needs to unite. Please trust us.
Ryosuke rallied the employees to rescue the project, taking on a leadership role.
Everyone, this is about our company's survival. Let's support President Shirai and overcome this crisis.
Fired up by his words, they threw themselves into reconstructing the project. Watching them, Sayaka felt something shift deep within her.
I'll trust all of you as well.
After sleepless nights of effort, the project succeeded. The company survived, and cheers erupted among the staff.
We did it. The client agreed to our revision.
Ryosuke relaxed, seeing everyone's relieved faces. At that moment, Sayaka approached him.
Without your help, we never would have gotten this far. Mr. Sasaki, thank you truly.
No, it was everyone's efforts. Plus, you being here made all the difference.
For the first time, a gentle kindness shone in her eyes.
It's a bit embarrassing hearing it put that way.
Ryosuke paused, then took a breath and called her name.
President Shirai, no, Sayaka, I've always wanted to see your smile come back.
Her eyes widened. Confusion flickered across her face, then melted into a calm smile.
In that case, would you stay by my side?
Ryosuke nodded firmly. At that moment, her true smile returned. A few days after the project's success, Sayaka called Ryosuke up to the rooftop.
Ryosuke, I'd like to name you vice president. Will you continue to help me guide this company?
Of course, Sayaka. I want to make this company even better, together with you.
Hearing his answer, she hesitated, then broke into the brightest smile.
Thank you, Ryosuke.
Together they gazed at the city lights, shoulder to shoulder, stepping boldly into a brand new future.